All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Bentley. I am one of the assistant directors in admissions. Welcome to Alfred University. We are so happy to have you with us today for our virtual tour. Today, we are specializing on residence life. So this tour is specifically geared towards our accepted and deposited students. So if you are interested in learning more about the housing process, various residence hall options on campus, that is what we are here to talk about today. So again, my name is Maria Bentley. I'm one of the assistant directors in admissions. I'm joined by my colleague, Mike Padlow.
Hey everyone, it's great to be with you this afternoon. My name is Mike Padlow. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Alfred University. I work with students in our local territory as well as Central New York and Northern New York State.
Thanks, Mike. We're also joined by residence life professional, Lacey.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to answer all your questions housing related. I am the assistant director for residence life, so I am your guru this afternoon. And I look forward to kind of exploring the residence halls with you.
Thanks, Lacey. So before we get started with our tour and looking at our various residence hall options, we want to make sure that everyone is in the right place. So again, this is for our accepted and deposited students. If you are not deposited and you've decided that you absolutely love Alfred University and you want to be with us in the fall, we want you to deposit. So we're going to walk you through that process right now. So you can deposit by going to our webpage, which is alfred.edu. Once you go to alfred.edu, this is our main page for our website. You will then go to the tab here that says Admissions and Aid, and you can go down to our deposit button. Once you click on deposit, it will bring you to the page here to deposit. In order to submit your deposit, you will have to put in your student ID. Your student ID is the number that starts with A00, and that number is listed on each of your acceptance letters. You should have received your acceptance letter via the mail in a wonderful water bottle that we sent you. If you don't know your student ID, you can also find it on your student portal. Also, you will put in the last 4 digits of your social security number and your birth date. Make sure that you are putting your birthday in month, day, year order. It's very important that you follow that order. Once you've submitted your deposit, you can go back up to this bar here. And you're going to go from the admissions and aid section down to accepted students. And you can check out the deposited student checklist by scrolling down here. As a deposited student, congratulations. You are a part of the Alfred University family, and we are so excited to have you here in the fall. So the next step is getting onboarded as a Alfred University student. So the first step that you will have to do is activate your campus email address. So you'll click on this button here. Make sure that you read all of the information. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure that you read everything that is in front of you. You will set up your email address. And once you set up your AU email address, be sure to check your email account for information about residence life and housing. You will receive a welcome email from our Office of Residence Life to fill out the residence hall questionnaire and sign up for housing and dining. And that's what Lacey will walk us through at the end of our tour. After that, you can move on to the other items listed here. Submitting your required health forms, registering for summer orientation. Many of you will ask, how are we going to sign up for classes? This is where you do that. So information on summer orientation is coming soon, and you can sign up for summer orientation via number 4 on the deposited student checklist here. Make sure you check the rest of the numbers here for if you've got AP credits or college credits, how to submit those, complete your financial responsibility form, and registering for classes will be through our Center for Advising and our academic success coaches. And that will happen after you go through orientation. If you have any questions, you can ask your admissions counselor. We also have some current students with us. So if you have any questions for current students, you can ask them or in the chat box as well. We have Ashley with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. I'm a senior marketing major at AU. And I also am a social media intern in the admissions office. And if you look at the chat, I just threw in our social media and you should follow us.
And we also have Charlie.
Hey folks, my name is Charlie Murphy. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major here at Alfred University, minors in business administration and renewable energy engineering. And I'll be back next year as part of the 4+1 MBA program. And I'm excited to show you around campus a little bit today.
Thanks, Charlie. And we have Danny with us.
Hello, everybody. My name is Danny. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major with a minor in renewable energy, and I'm going to be walking around campus.
Great. Thanks, Danny. All right. And now I'm going to turn it on over to Lacey, and she's going to start our programming on residence life.
So again, I am so excited to finally get to talk to everybody about housing. I know that once you become a new admit student, that this is like the most exciting part, right? Figuring out where you're going to live, who you're going to live with, and where you're going to spend the majority of your time away from home. So again, my name is Lacey. I am the Assistant Director for Residence Life. Right now, I am, like I said, your guru for housing. If there's any questions that you have, like I am going to be the person that you're asking to talk to. I also oversee student conduct, but that's a different conversation for another day. What I hope to talk to you about today, this is kind of just a little overview of the agenda, is our office structure. So I'm going to talk to you about our professional staff, what we do, talking about the residence directors, the resident assistants, all these names and all these people that are going to be really invested in you when you get here. I want you to know what their purpose is and who's here for you to make sure that you're successful. We'll also then jump into the residence halls, which I know all of you are really itching to look into. I'll kind of talk about different residence halls, ones that we have for first year students, some of our themed communities, and then we're going to do a virtual tour. So admissions has been doing a phenomenal job at getting videos of all of our residence halls. And so they actually did a special patch of all the halls today. And so we're going to take some time, watch these virtual tours, and then I'll walk you through the application and get some questions answered and just open it up. So first, professional staff members. So that would be people like me. We are the ones that run the office, the face-to-face. If you walk into the Office of Residence Life, you're going to see us. We kind of do some of the nitty-gritty back work. But the people that you're going to really become familiar with within your residence halls are going to be these residence directors and resident assistants. So RDs for short, there are grad students. They're ones here. A lot of them are going for counseling degrees, so they're familiar with working with students, and others are MBA majors like Charlie. I know Charlie's hoping to come back as an RD for the following year. Their main goal is to oversee the RAs, make sure that they are reaching out to students, doing programming, but they're also there for students as well. So if you're not as comfortable going to an RA, you can find one of the grad students and they can come and assist you. They're kind of like your in-house help, really. And then the RAs are your undergraduate students. These are the ones that are really going to be in your face, especially as first-year students. They're the ones that are going to be knocking on your door. They're going to be the ones welcoming you during move-in. They'll be doing programming. They'll be taking you to programs. They'll be showing you different clubs and organizations. They'll be putting on different programs in the residence halls. And then they're also going to be on call. So for our parents and guardians out there who are like, who's watching over my kid while I'm gone? It's the RAs. The RAs and RDs operate with public safety. There is an on-call system. So if a student is locked out when the offices are closed, or if a student needs medical assistance, or a student needs the counselor on call, the RAs and the RDs are the ones that kind of trigger that safety protocol, and then the professional staff members step in. So they are someone that I really want you guys to become familiar with when you get here, because they're going to be the best help for you. So let's talk about residence halls. This year, we have a handful of different living options for our first year students. So Greasy, Cannon, and Cruisin, these names aren't going to mean a lot to you right now, but when we do the tours, they will. These are our traditional corridor style residence halls. What that means is when you think of like a movie, when students go to college, there's like the 2 beds, the 2 closets, the 2 dressers. This is what these residence halls look like. These are specifically for first year students. So all of your neighbors and your roommates will only be first years. This will be their first time at Alfred University. We are also offering a suite option for our first year students this year. So that suite will be Schultz. Suites are where students of 3 to 6 can live together. Each student will share a bedroom. So there's 3 bedrooms, a common area, a restroom, and then a little kitchenette. So it's kind of, I call it a mini kitchen really. It's a small 4-burner stove, a really tiny oven, a microwave, and a sink to do some meal prep. And those are really our 4 main first year residence halls this year. And then we have 2 options that are themed living options, and they're available for our first year students as well if they fall in these categories. So the first one will be the Brick. The Brick is going to be our art themed community. The Dean of School of Art and Design, Dan Napolitano, is really invested, and the Brick actually has an art studio in the basement, and that's why we placed it there. It's also one of our more quirky buildings. And then the other option we have is the Unity floor. So the Unity floor is for any of our students who identify as an underrepresented student, or someone that's willing to be an advocate for a population, or someone that's just willing to learn more about someone that's different from them. It's really designated right now for the first floor of Moskowitz, but if we have more interest, we're going to kind of dump that over into the first floor of Taft. And so the whole first floor will be Unity living, and programming will be really catered to those areas. So if you're living in the art building, a lot of your programming is going to be around figure drawing, still drawing, learning about the different mediums, learning about job opportunities and certain disciplines. And then if you're on the Unity floor, it's going to be a lot of advocacy work, educating others, educating yourself, growing yourself. And then this isn't necessarily open to first year students, but sometimes we'll have an overflow. Taft would be another place. It's attached to Moskowitz. It's in the link, which I know that we will show later today as well. And so that is also a possibility. Sometimes first year students can get plopped into a residence hall that has sophomores, juniors, and seniors in it. And that's what the Taft was going to be for fall. So now let's jump into the virtual tours.
So Lacey, I just wanted to address a couple questions before we get started. If students have deposited and set up their AU email, when should they be expecting the email to come from your office to sign up for housing?
That's a great question. So the way our systems talk to each other, there's about a 24-hour delay. So depending on when you deposited and depending on when our systems talk to each other, you'll roll into my housing software. And on Fridays is usually when I'm going to do a mass send out.
Great. And Lacey, if students have questions, is there a preferred form of communication?
Definitely. You can email us. I'm actually someone that prefers to talk on the phone because I think it's easier to explain since the housing process is so detailed. Our phones are very busy. So if you don't get me on the first try, just leave a message with your phone number and I'll give you a call back.
Thank you. And I see a couple questions about medical accommodations. We did a virtual tour with Dr. Liz Shea in our Center for Academic Success. Medical accommodations and accommodation services are done through Liz's office. But Lacey, would you like to talk about accommodations?
Yes, I can. I'm actually going to share my screen again because that would be the easiest way to show it. So if you're looking for medical accommodation, you're going to, again, want to go to the alfred.edu website. This is the best way to find information. If you're looking for residence life information, feel free to type in residence life. Medical accommodations actually sit with the Center for Academic Success because they oversee all of our disability housing. So what you're going to do, you can click on either one of these. It's totally fine. Once you get to the Center for Academic Success, you're going to look for accessibility services and accommodations. When you click on that link, it will explain to you everything that this university offers for anyone that needs an accommodation. And then our housing accommodation process is the last link. And again, this will tell you what the policy is, how to upload the files. And then the Disability Housing Committee will meet to discuss and see if we can meet your accommodation on campus or if we need to release you from the housing process. I also want to note emotional support animals is in this area, as well as service animals.
Great, thanks, Lacey. So now I'm going to share my screen. You can also see that Danny and Charlie are out on campus, and I'm going to replace them as a spotlight here so you can see them on campus walking around. This is what our live virtual tours will look like. So if you want to join us next week or also on the following week, which would be the 27th, we have a full live virtual tour, which will cover all of campus and our various student affairs offices. Now we're going to start with our virtual tours of our residence halls.
Barisi and Cannon are 2 residence halls with similar interiors and exteriors, located right next to Aid Dining Hall.
Right now we're outside Barisi Residence Hall. This is a first-year residence hall. It is gender by floor with a boys and girls and boys floor. It's corridor style, 2 per room. There's shared bathrooms on each floor, and there's a common room with a pool table and space to just hang out.
Hello, welcome to a Greasy Room. This is a corridor style room which has 2 beds, 2 desks, and 2 nicely sized closets.
Cannon is also a first-year corridor-style dorm that is split up gender by floor. There's a common space on the first floor, a kitchen, and a laundry room. On each floor, there is a shared bathroom with stalls.
Okay, so Lacey, we just saw Barisi and Cannon. Can you talk about those residence halls?
So again, Greasy and Cannon are those traditional corridor style residence halls. Again, the ones you see in the movies where it's you and another person sharing a space. There is a shared bathroom on the floor, and those floors in those residence halls are actually gendered. So students who are placed there will need to be female identifying or male identifying, so we can place them with the appropriate restroom. And then each of those residence halls offers laundry and I believe a kitchen, but I want to double check on the Cannon kitchen.
And up next, we have Cruisin and the Brick. Lacey, do you want to highlight Cruisin and the Brick for us?
Okay, so Cruisin is again another corridor style residence hall, similarly set up to Greasy and Cannon, but just a little bit different. This residence hall actually has 4 floors, and you will find your 2 gathering spaces, one on the ground floor with the kitchen and the laundry room, and then one on this first floor that you see. Again, these floors are gendered, so the ground floor or the 0 floor and the first floor are female, and then the second and third floor are males. And then the brick is, I like to call it semi-gendered. There's 2 restrooms on each floor, so we do co-ed living within that residence hall. But the brick is one of our older residence halls on campus, and it has a real fun history. If you are placed in the brick, I encourage you to look around at some of the old photography because that building has gone through a lot. There was a fire in it years prior, which it took away. There's like porches on it, which is really fascinating. It also used to be one of our first dormitories. So when you're downstairs doing the laundry, you're going to see a door that has kitchen painted on it or a classroom. And so it carries a lot of our history in it.
Cruisin and the Brick are corridor-style co-ed residence halls. Both buildings have common spaces for residents, full kitchens, a laundry room, and stall bathrooms on each floor. The Brick also has a lawn where students can hang out and get some fresh air. Cruisin is a first-year dorm that is gendered by floor and has common areas on the first and ground floor. On the first floor, you will find the main entrance, a meeting area, and a gender-neutral bathroom. On the ground floor, you'll find vending machines, another meeting area, and a kitchen.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Michael Bradley. I am an RA here in Cruisin. I just wanted to bring you guys in and show you this is a standard room here in Cruisin. So over here we have two different sets of drawers, one for each roommate. Now currently I only have 1 bed in here, being an RA, so I have mine set up this way. I've got my desk set up for a little bit of online learning. Hopefully we'll be mostly in person coming up here soon. So this is your typical setup. Normally you would have 2 beds, they'd be arranged differently, but that would allow you to be able to move around your room space.
Welcome to the Brick. This is your standard double room. As you can see, it's got a ton of room for you and your roommate. This is on the 3rd floor. You have 2 desks, 2 dressers, and a fairly large closet.
The Brick is one of the most popular residence halls on campus. It was first built in 1858 and was Ladies' Hall for the female students at the time. Now the Brick is coeducational. This building is rich with history, including being a World War II infirmary. Some of this history can be learned from the pictures hung on the walls in the common room on the 1st floor. This residence hall also has a kitchen, laundry room, stall bathrooms, and vending machines.
So now we're going to go into the suites and the apartments. Lacey, can you talk about the suites and the apartments?
Yes, so the suites and the apartments are one of our more independent living areas. So again, with the suites, that is a 3-bedroom, common space, kitchenette, bathroom. per 6 students. So 3 bedrooms, students have medical singles, there'll be 3 students living there. If students double up and want to have roommates, there could be up to 6 students living. Again, it can be co-ed. You don't all have to live with female identifying or male identifying students. Anyone can live with anyone in these spaces. There are 7 Pine Hill Suites, so that offers a lot of options. But do know that due to the pandemic, we will have 2 offline, similar to this year, for quarantine and isolation spaces. When it comes to Forestry Apartments, this is what students look forward to as they spend their time here at Alfred University. So Forestry Apartments are only available to upperclassmen, and they are true apartments. So they have a full-size kitchen, they have 2 to 3 bedrooms depending on the option that you pick, and then they have a furnished living room. Each space has its own laundry. So Ford Street's laundry is actually located in the Judson Leadership Center. What's nice about Pine Hill Suites is that their laundry is located on the ground floor within every suite, so you don't have to go outside to do your laundry.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my suite. My name is CJ. I'm the RA up here in Schultz Suite. We're going to give you a quick tour of what I live in every day. So what you're seeing first is the living room. My living room comes with a couch, 2 love seats, and that table. Everything else you can put in here yourselves. Some of these are chairs from other rooms and stuff. But as you can see, we got a TV up front. Sometimes we have roommates like to watch movies in here. At the moment, there's 3 of us in here, but they're designed for 6 people. So it's a fairly spacious area for you to meet together. Coming this way, you've got the kitchenette. It comes with a mini fridge, a small 2-burner range, a small bar sink, and some kitchen cabinets. Always gotta have a fire extinguisher for those mistakes. So this is my room. All the rooms come with 2 twin beds. In this case, it comes with a walk-in closet. Every person who lives in the suite gets 2 drawers for themselves, as well as a desk for each other. The way I got mine set up, it's designed as a single. This is got room for us, obviously. So it's got 2 sinks, a mirror as you come back. There's a toilet and a fairly spacious shower. We clean ourselves, obviously. So in total, there's 7 suites. We're currently in a Schultz, but Lower Pine consists of Kenyon, Davis, and us. Upper Pine consists of Norwood, Phillips, Tridemic, and Crawford. Each of them are obviously 6 persons, the exact same as this. It's a really popular thing, especially for sports players who are looking to room with their buddies who are on the teams with them. It's fairly common for them to get a suite and live in the suite together for all 4 years. A much more upgraded version of the suites is the Forestry Apartments with a little bit bigger of a kitchen, but it's the same setup.
Welcome to the Forestry Apartments. Behind me is Mercury, along with a bunch of other options down that way. The Forestry Apartments are for juniors and seniors. And in the Forestry Apartments, you do get 2 options. You can either live with 6 of your bestest friends or 4 of your bestest friends. There's also 2 other set of buildings that are also part of the Forestry Apartments, and these are typically 4-person apartments. And then straight ahead, by the second set of stairs down there, it's the JLC, and that is where our laundry is done. Hi, and welcome to the Forestry 4-person apartments. In this apartment, you'll get a very spacious kitchen. Comes with a stove, most of them come with a microwave, and a full-size refrigerator. As we walk this way, you will see a semi-smaller living space. However, it is plenty big enough for 4 people. And back this way, you do get a full-size closet, along with, to this side, you get a full-size bathroom with a tub and toilet with 2 sinks. And then you get 2 identical bedrooms, both with 2 beds, 2 desks, and 2 dressers. Hi, this is a Forestry Apartment, 6-person apartment. In this apartment, you do get a full kitchen with a full-size stove, refrigerator, and microwave. And then we come into this giant living space. And as we come this way, we will see that you do get a full-size bathroom with a tub and toilet, along with 2 sinks. We'll come into one of the bedrooms over here. In the bedrooms, you do get 2 full-size desks, along with 2 beds and 2 dressers. In this apartment, there are 3 identical bedrooms, along with a hugely spacious closet.
All right, so we just saw the suites in the upperclassmen apartments. Now we are going to see Moskowitz and Teft, along with our wonderful link that combines the two. Lacey, do you want to highlight anything about Moskowitz and Teft?
Yes, so Moskowitz and Teft are fairly new in their remodel. They are what we would consider sibling buildings, identical mirror images of each other. And the one thing that really draws students to these residence halls is their restrooms. So even though it's a traditional corridor style where you're sharing a room with somebody else, the restrooms are family style. So I don't know how many times you have gone to a restaurant and you close the door behind you and you have a toilet and a sink to yourself. I know in this video you will see that we offer the same. There are about 5 to 6 restrooms on each floor that offer a toilet, sink, and a shower. So students have total privacy and they're non-gendered. So students can feel comfortable going into whichever restroom that they prefer. I will note that on the first floor of both Teft and Moskowitz, there is a gathering space as well as an RA office. So it's easy to find our RAs. And then you have a very nice large remodeled kitchen as well as the laundry room all on the ground floor. And then when we get into the link, you'll see that both buildings are connected by this awesome gathering area that's all windows. And again, it has really great sunset views or views of the valley. Students have access to that, and a lot of students use the top part for studying and the bottom part for hanging out.
Moskowitz and Teft are 2 similar corridor-style mixed-class residence halls connected by the glass link. Moskowitz is the Unity House, which serves as a residential extension of the Institute for Cultural Unity, with organizations providing educational and programming opportunities. The link is a glass structure that serves as a common space for all students. Inside is a lounge where students can hang out, eat, or study. Sometimes this is also used as an event space. Both buildings have separate common spaces on the first floor with a lounge and full kitchen where students can cook. Both buildings also feature 6 private bathrooms per floor with a toilet, sink, and shower, all behind one door.
Welcome to my room. This is the size of a standard double room. I have it to myself because I am an RA.
Bedrooms come with 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 sets of drawers, and 2 wardrobes. And that's Teft and Moskowitz. Thanks for watching.
All right, next up we have Oppenheim, which has been newly renovated. Lacey, what would you like to highlight about Oppenheim?
Yeah, so Oppenheim was actually one of our residence halls that was renovated during the pandemic, which was really exciting. Unfortunately, Oppenheim this year is going to be a sophomore-only residence hall. And so I do know this video does a really great job at showing you a lot of those amenities, and so I'll let Charlie kind of highlight what's exciting about Oppenheim.
Hey everyone, welcome to Oppenheim Residence Hall. This residence hall was renovated just this past summer. Everything in here is brand new. This primarily caters to sophomores. We have double rooms in here and even some singles for you to live in if you'd like. It's an awesome building. We have a brand new kitchen, activities available all the time, and there's even a floor dedicated to the Judson Leadership Center. So if you're working on a leadership minor, then you can live on that floor and have a nice community with all your friends. Hey guys, welcome to the Makerspace here in Oppenheim. So this is the space that was designed by STEM majors for STEM majors. You got the high top tables here, plenty of seating, power right overhead to keep you going with all the projects that you're working on. Storage behind us for all your projects. Whatever you're working on for your different STEM courses, this is definitely the space to do it. Great collaborative space to work on problems with your friends. So Opp has this really incredible kitchen. As you can see, there's plenty of seating in here for you to come in, eat with your friends, hang out. And then if you're interested in cooking, we have 2 ranges here, stoves, plenty of burners, 2 ovens, refrigerator for you to keep your food, and then all of the storage you can need. So one of the really neat things about living in Oppenheim is the fact that on each floor you're going to have 3 washers and 4 dryers, so you don't have to walk down the stairs to do your laundry. You have the laundry available right on your floor. is incredibly convenient. And you can set the washers and dryers so they text you when everything is done. In Oppenheim, on every floor, there's a common room just like this. So you can come out, hang out on the couches with your friends, maybe have some snacks, work on homework at the tables here. And then there's also a microwave and sink for you to use at any time, which is incredibly convenient.
Hi there, welcome to the single loft rooms in Oppenheim. I just love how much room it gives us, and the view is just wonderful.
Double rooms in Oppenheim come with 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 sets of drawers, 2 closets, and a thermostat to control the temperature.
Hi there, my name is Megan Jones. I am a current student ambassador, resident assistant, and one of the senior students living in the Oppenheim Residence Hall. So just recently, Oppenheim was renovated. So there are new rooms, new kitchens, new living facilities, new study lounges for the students, and we even have a really cool elevator, which I know probably doesn't sound cool, but it's very nice taking you up to the 3rd floor. The Oppenheim staff here is pretty cool. We're pretty well rounded. If you guys aren't aware, we actually do have an Instagram. You'll be able to find it under AU_Oppenhomies. It's a pretty cool nickname. Basically, what that Instagram does is it keeps not only the students living in this building, but the students at home, the students on other residence halls of campus. It keeps them updated with the events that the RAs are doing within Oppenheim. If there was a resident of the week, which we try to elect a new resident every single week, you will see those people posted on the Instagram as well. And basically the Instagram is just like a fun community. But overall, that's just the general summary of Oppenheim. And thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
All right, and now we are up to Joel's and Anne's house. Lacey, what would you like to say about Joel's and Anne's?
Okay, so again, Joel's and Anne's house are one of those areas to look forward to as they are for upperclassmen. Charlie, who is on this tour, is actually one of our residential educators up in Joel's house. It was renovated by one of our donors. And what's really nice is it looks a log cabin-ish on the outside. And inside you get more of a cozy home feeling. On the ground floor, there's your laundry. A lot of singles are in this space, as well as a kitchen. And on the top floor, you can see behind the no parking sign, there is a balcony. So you have, again, a beautiful view of the valley and then a nice living room space upstairs. These spaces, again, are for upperclassmen. There are a few doubles, but something to really be looking forward to as you continue your time here at Alfred University. And then Anne's house, which you'll see, is all singles. These are what we call semi-suites. This is you have your own room, a roommate has their own room, and you share a restroom. There is common spaces on each floor. Another elevator, as RA Megan said, is really nice. It is unreal how exciting it is to have an elevator in a residence hall, especially during that move-in. But there is, again, a full-size kitchen and laundry within Anne's house.
Awesome, thanks, Lacey. So this is something to look forward to as an upper class student, or if you're a transfer student.
Hey guys, and welcome to Joel's house. This is one of our many different living styles that we have available. Less than 30 students live in this building, and mostly singles. There's a few doubles available, but this is really catering to those who are looking for a more independent living style. We have a nice large kitchen downstairs. We have access to Pine Hill right behind us for beautiful hiking trails. And we even have a sugar shack over in the other side of the parking lot here where we make maple syrup every year. Why don't we head on inside and you can take a look at one of the rooms. All right, welcome inside. You can come on into my room here, take a look around. As you can see, it's a nice large room here. You can really make it your own. I like baseball caps, so I have them hanging there on the wall. And the shelf I put in right below it so I can have all my food there. Microwave coffee maker. I'm a skier, so of course I have my equipment over in the corner there. Everything I need for practices. Bed, of course. Beautiful view outside. Nice view of Pine Hill. And then over here we have the desk. You can do all your homework. There's a dresser where you can put all your clothes and a nice big closet to store everything else. All right, everyone, welcome to Anne's house. This is another one of our more independent living styles. So we have 3 floors here with rooms off of those. You share a common space and a bathroom with your roommate. You each have individual bedrooms, which is a really, really nice touch, and it gives you that more independent living feel. There's a beautiful kitchen downstairs, common spaces on every floor, and it's really one of our most quiet buildings. So if you're an upperclassman, this is a great place for you to stay.
All right. So I'm seeing quite a few questions in the chat box. So the first question I'm seeing from some of my private questions is, can students have a car on campus? Lacey, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, students can have a car on campus. I cannot tell you how many times I use the search function on our alfred.edu webpage. And so for those of you that are looking for parking information, just search in parking and it's going to come up parking and maps. And so this site right here is going to tell you patrol and post, parking maps, news and events, if you have anything that's lost and found, how to buy your permit. So parking permits are purchased online. What a tongue twister. And then general rules of having a vehicle on campus, as well as some other things that students might be interested in. As far as residence life, again, if you search residence life, it's going to bring you to our page. I'm sure many of you have already devoured the information on here. I did want to highlight the bring it information, things to make sure that you have. We'll also have, I believe admissions has sent this out in a PDF form to students. And then there is a leave it piece. So if you're interested, you want to see what can I and can I not bring, these are the things that you cannot have on campus.
I see a couple questions about how many students are on each floor.
I'd say about 18 to 20 students per floor.
And as you can see here, Danny and Charlie are walking around campus. So this is the end of our academic alley. So you'll see one of our main dining halls, aid here on the right, and then our two performing arts buildings. Please put any questions that you have in the chat box and we will answer them as they come in. Lacey, can you highlight what are the first year residence hall options?
Yes, so they are Greasy and Cannon, Cruisin, Schultz, which would be our suite first year residence option. And then first years are also eligible to live in the Unity floor if that's a place that they are interested in, or the Brick Art community.
So Lacey, another question. How do first year students choose their room? What is that process? How do we go through that?
All right, so I think it's time for us to jump into how to do the application. So I don't want to take away though, you can see that Danny and Charlie are in the link right now, which is very exciting. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to walk everybody through the housing and dining process. This is our test freshman that we have. This is my faux student that gets all my correspondence and all my quirks worked out of the system before I send them to students. Please go check your AU email and look for this new student welcome letter. When you open it, it's going to say, "We are excited to welcome you," and it's going to outline the housing process. Let's jump into how to fill out the housing application. So once you get your email, it says welcome and explains to you how to do the housing process. This link will take you to our Simplicity residence space. And so you will see only first year students, you're going to see first year housing application. If you're a new transfer exchange student, you're going to see the new transfer exchange application. You will only see one application. This is the application set up for you. If you think you're interested in living off campus and you want to see if you meet the off-campus requirements, there is this link to the off-campus waiver, okay? So here we're going to jump into the new first year student housing application. I like to think it's very straightforward, but again, walking through it never hurts anyone. So there's a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 is the most important. This is where you're going to sign off on your housing terms and conditions, do your roommate matching, tell me where you prefer to live. And so be very diligent as you walk through this. The first page on this application is going to ask you for your information. When you apply to the university, we do get a lot of info, so you'll see a lot of it is imported. If anything's incorrect, please feel free to correct it. Gender, you'll see that some of these options are multiple. There is, again, a glitch. I'm not as computer savvy with housing as I am with student conduct. So just pick which best describes you. And if we have any concerns, I will reach out to you personally to determine what floor would work best for you. We do want you to double check your contact information and specifically the cell number. A lot of your cell numbers are going to be your parents. We want yours. We want to be able to get a hold of a student when we need something, if there's an issue with their application. We're also going to ask for emergency contact information. So please be diligent and mindful as you're filling this information out. Again, your class year will populate and your major if you've chosen. If you have not chosen, that is totally fine. Credit hours, you're going to have none. Enrollment date and expected graduation date isn't important for first year students because we all know that you're first year. And then when you're done with that, you can hit next. It will take you to the meal plan. So as first year students, you have only 3 options for meal plans. There's the gold plan, the King Alfred, and the purple plan. Again, if you're curious as to what these plans are, look up the dining information on the AU website so that you can familiarize yourself with what you're signing up for. The next thing that's really exciting for students is this matching profile. So this is how, if you don't have a roommate, you're looking to live with somebody that you don't know, we're going to find someone that matches your personality. And so be mindful as you're filling out these questions. We don't want to put an early bird with a night owl, right? That oftentimes causes a lot of issues. We don't want to put someone who is not as neat with someone who's very neat, so on and so forth. So be mindful when you fill these out. And then if you do have a building preference, so you saw the tours and you're like, oh, I really like the way this residence hall looks, you can pick whichever one speaks to you. Next would be the 2 living learning communities. So if you're interested in the art community, when you hit yes, it's going to trigger a bunch of different questions. Same thing with the Unity floor. When you hit yes, it's going to ask you for some clarification as to why you're interested in that floor. Okay. So then the last piece is the terms and conditions. And so I really encourage you all to read over this, especially this responsibility clause. Please note that the university is not responsible for loss, theft, or damage regarding your personal property. We strongly encourage you to pick up renter's insurance so that if something unforeseeable happens, your items are covered. This contract, these terms and conditions, I know it seems kind of long, but it really isn't. And it outlines like what room charges are, when move out is, when move in is. And once you've read and agreed to each, you will need to click these radio buttons. And then the last thing you do is you have to review, make sure that all of your information is correct, that you pick the correct meal plan, that your roommate profile is up to date, and that you are happy and you hit submit application. So once that's done, you're going to get a big green check mark. And then the next and the fun part is the roommate selection group. So you'll see that as I'm sitting up here, this test student freshman has a roommate code, the STEPOL 966. Every student has their own code and it's specific to them. And so let's say that you are looking for someone that you know that shared your roommate code. You're going to plug it in here. And send an invite, and they're going to do the same. So they'll plug in your roommate code and you guys will request each other. If you're curious and you want to just search, you can search based off of these, again, matching profiles and find somebody that matches with what you prefer. Or I do know that a lot of times students find each other on some of those Facebook groups. So it seems to be one of the more popular ways because you get to talk with that student back and forth a lot more. And that is the housing application in a nutshell.
Thanks, Lacey. So I did want to reiterate, if you are an accepted student, you can join our accepted student Facebook group that Lacey was just mentioning. Ashley, who is our marketing student intern, she runs the Facebook group. She also has created a group me, so you can get connected via our Facebook group, the group me. There's also students that connect via Snapchat or Instagram. So getting into that accepted student Facebook group is a great way to get connected as a prospective student. So we have a couple questions in the chat box. Why can we not have curtains?
Being a residence hall, we have to follow the New York State Fire Code. And so curtains are one of those things that's really hard to meet the regulations without training all of our staff to go through and be able to measure. And so we work with environmental health and safety to create policies that are easy to enforce. And that's really like the short answer of it. Each residence hall though also has blinds. And so there is the opportunity to draw a shade. It's provided within the room.
Next question. If a student chooses a meal plan and finds that they would like to change that, may they change that?
Absolutely. So once you are placed, there is a meal plan change form. I believe it is available through your banner web. And so you would fill that out, and as we get them, we change them. Students can change their meal plan up until the first Friday of classes. After that, students can only increase their meal plan, they cannot decrease it.
Next question. Are there any locking cabinets in the rooms?
In the rooms, no.
Okay.
Your residence hall room, you have a key and only your key will open your room. So you have the ability to lock your room and only you and your roommate will have access to it. Some students, as you saw in the video of Charlie up in Joel's house, may have had a locking cabinet that they brought. A small piece of furniture, whether that's like a fire chest where you keep important documents. If you feel the need, you're more than welcome to bring something small like that.
Okay. I can answer this question. So if a student comes in with college credits, so a dual enrollment course, IB credits, or AP credits, they are not considered a transfer student. You are only considered a transfer student if you have matriculated at another institution. If you are incoming first year student coming directly from high school, you are still considered a first year student and will be put in first year housing. What are some lighting options that students are able to bring into the residence halls?
Yes, so students are lights that are battery operated are the go-to lights. Again, working with New York State fire code, there are certain lights that are not permitted, and battery operated lights across the board are permitted. So to be safe, those are the ones that we ask students to bring.
Lacey, what about single options for first year students?
Yeah, so single options, as we do housing, I do keep about, I think this year we're keeping about 15 singles open for first year students. So if all of our singles within the first year residence halls fill, there may be some singles in other residence halls that will be mixed classmen. But truly, the students who get preference over singles are those that go through the medical accommodation process, and the Disability Housing Committee approves them for medical singles. So right now I have a list of incoming first year students who have gone through that process. If you haven't done so already and you already did your housing application, you still have time. If it's something you want to pursue, you get it done in August, we will make the change to try and accommodate you. But the longer you wait, the less likely we can accommodate. So if that's something you're looking into, I really encourage you to familiarize yourself with that process and work through it now rather than waiting until the end of the summer.
Can a bed be modified or elevated or bunked? And then can a desk or chair be brought in per ergonomic needs?
So yeah, some of the residence hall beds can be adjusted. If you prefer to do that, we ask that you put in a work order. That is how we communicate with our physical plant or facilities to make those accommodations. That way that you're safe, they know how to do it and they can do it effectively. We do not allow bunking of beds. We do allow students if they have, so a classic traditional bed riser is totally fine. And then if you need any type of accommodation, whether it's a special mattress or a chair, again, you have to go through that accommodation process with the Center for Academic Success, and then they'll work with us to get that. Students are not allowed to bring in outside furniture into the residence hall. What's furnished and provided is what's allowed to be in there.
Lacey, we have a question about the living learning experience for first year art students in the BRIC. Can you talk about that? Is it just for first year students? Is it open to upperclassmen? How is that working next year?
It is open. It's open to all levels. Primarily first year students will be placed in there, but we have opened it to upperclassmen as they enjoy that atmosphere. There's X amount of spaces reserved for first year students. So again, the competition isn't as fierce as it would be if you're already here at AU.
Okay. If you have already deposited for your intended major and you want to change your major, please let your admissions counselor know as soon as possible. Some majors you need to have additional requirements to apply for those areas. In particular, we're looking at your math and science for engineering, and art and design students need to submit a portfolio. So if you want to change your major, please let your admissions counselor know so we can help you through that process before you get to campus. Can non-art majors live in the Brick?
That's a great question. Yes, if you can advocate for yourself. That is why we don't just say, do you have an art degree? I think we ask you why you want to be part of that community. And if it's a hobby or something that you're interested in, or you just want to be around people of creative minds that way, there is a possibility that if you are a non-art major, you may be placed in the Brick if it's something that you indicate that you're interested in.
Lacey, can you talk about our special academic interest housing? The Honors House, Language House, Hillel, what are those functions and who can live in those spaces?
Yes. So one housing option that we haven't seen on our tour today are our liaison houses. And so those are true homes that the university has purchased. They're not technically off campus, but they have an off campus feel. Those houses are the environmental house. So anybody that is interested in environmental sciences or just green related. The Hillel house. So these are for students who participate Hillel. There's actually a kosher kitchen within this residence halls, within this home, this house. We have the Honors House, the Modern Language House, and then we also have one space for grad students. I do not believe first year students can live within these houses, but it is something that sophomores, juniors, and seniors can apply for if they're interested.
Lacey, how would students go about identifying that they would like a single room as a first year student, and what would qualify a student for a single room?
If you do not have a medically approved single through the Center for Academic Success, the only way that you would get a single is if you waited to see if there were any open. Singles are something, again, that first come are the medical accommodations. If a student is a first year student, doesn't have a medical accommodation, is interested in a room, you can email me and I'll put you on a wait list. That wait list does not guarantee you that you'll get a single room though.
How about smoking? Are all of the residence halls non-smoking, and are there areas that folks can smoke on campus?
Yes, due to New York State law, any residence is a non-smoking area, and students must stay 25 feet away from the building to smoke. So
if you are having trouble with your AU email, you can call our ITS office at 607-871-2222. They can help you with any email problems that you're having, if you need to reset your password or if you can't get into your email. Lacey, when will announcements about roommates happen?
Oh, great question. So right now, because we're doing housing for our on-campus students and our online students, we're going to get them housed first. We'll go in beginning May. May to August is really when we start doing rooming for first year students, because we have such a large influx that happen over the summer. We hold off on housing the first couple just in case we find someone that matches your profile better than the 90 that have been accepted or however many so far. So
thank you so much for joining us. I do want to reiterate that we do have several other visit options. We have visit options in person Monday through Friday. We also have Saturdays for our accepted seniors and transfer students. You can also visit us virtually again. We have next week, which we'll be doing an in-depth dive on our dining services. And then the following week, the 27th, will be a virtual tour that will highlight all of our various student affairs departments. We also have our Saxon Signing Day, which is our accepted student open house on April 30th and May 1st. So if you are an accepted student that hasn't visited us on campus, I highly suggest that you join us for a Saxon Signing Day on April 30th or May 1st. Come visit, come get connected. We have tours of all of our various areas from art and design, performing arts, engineering, business, and liberal arts and sciences. And you can also check out our athletic facilities as well. If you want to get connected, please follow us on social media. Ashley just put all the links to our social media in the chat box. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can also follow our Residence Life Facebook and Instagram. It's a great resource to stay connected and up to date on everything Residence Life. On April 30th and May 1st, we are in buildings, we're going into buildings. We are not going into residence halls because residence halls are occupied by current students. So we are giving current students that safety and that space, but every in-person tour goes into our Powell Campus Center, which is our student union building. You are able to see our dining halls. We also go into Olin, which is housing our College of Business. So you will get to see classrooms. And we will also be in Alumni Hall, which is our Office of Admissions and Financial Aid. So yes, you go into buildings on the in-person tours. Just not residence halls, or as they are actively being used by current students. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. Again, check out those visit options. If you have any questions, we will stay on for a few more moments to see if there are any questions we can answer. If you do not have any questions, thanks so much for joining us and have a great evening.